Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with some MBTI. Let's get into some cognitive development. This is ISTP and the alternate. Let's go. Alright, for the ISTP and the alternate, uh, your driving force is going to be your own personal thoughts and your own logic. That is the TI divine slot. That is what you are going to do without even thinking about it. You're going to be very much concerned that things are logically consistent according to your logic. To support this, or actually in support of, exploring the current things, finding all the new things. You are going to be very much concerned about logically finding new things. And therefore, you're going to be excellent researchers. Like you're going to be some of the best researchers out there. You are very much concerned with making sure that the data that you are finding, which is SE, lines up to logical consistency, which is TI. You're going to be, as an ISTP, you will be guided by the best possibility. This is seeing forward. This is your guidance. This is the third eye, which is also seeing forward and guidance, which means that when you're making these logical decisions, you are probably right, but you're going to get very defensive over the one conclusion that you want to draw from the evidence. Whether or not it's right, you are going to get very defensive over it. Whereas the third eye is going to get very defensive over the ethics of the situation. They're going to be they're going to be very much concerned with making sure that what you're finding in your research is going to actually fit with the ethics of the tribe. Now, go ahead and say this now. The tribe is your particular tribe. It is not necessarily all of humanity. It is who you have decided is your people. You know, if you're a researcher, that means it's academia. If you're a welder, that means it's the weld shop. Like, it depends on your situation, who your tribe is. Your family is almost always part of your tribe. But other than that, is the people that you choose to associate with and the people that you work with that you accept. Like, you can work with people and not accept them as part of your tribe. But the people that you do accept in your workplace become part of your tribe, and that is who you are concerned about the feelings of and the ethics of. So if you as a collective have decided that this is okay, you're going to check everything against this okay thing. For the ISTP, the regular ISTP, that's going to be in the throat. This is where miscommunication is going to happen. You are going to misinterpret what other people's feelings are. You're not very concerned about feelings at all. It is in your inferior slot and your demon slot. So you're not concerned about feelings. You are very much concerned about what do the facts say. Show me the data. I need to see the data. Now, you're not good at organizing the data, but you're good at recognizing the new data. Whereas for the ISTP alternate, that is going to be in I, which is seeing forward, the best possibility in your guidance. But you're going to miscommunicate that. You're going to misunderstand that. That is your inferior slot. You're not going to have the energy coming in to be able to give it out. So you're going to miss that most of the time. You're going to think that you're really good at seeing the one possibility. You're not. And you know that in your own life. Like, you know throughout your own stuff that you are consistently picking the wrong thing. Now, it may not be catastrophic, but it is the wrong thing. The heart, this is going to be TE. This is what everyone else thinks. This is what other people's thoughts are. This is rationale. And I got these two backwards on this graphic. On both sides. Okay, so move this slide up. I'm not going to go ahead and do that right now, but others' thoughts and rationale, that's my SI demon, by the way. Others' thoughts and rationale is what you are going to be concerned about. You are going to be very much worried about other people's rationale. So you're going to be checking back against other people's rationale. You're going to be checking your logic against other people's rationale. This is what you want, is to fit in with the other people's rationale. And this is for both of you. You both want to fit in with the other's rationale. That is why you select your tribe in the way that you do. You're very much concerned about your logic more than the tribe's rationale. But if the tribe's rationale fits in, then you're very, very happy. The solar plexus, this is again for both of you, is going to be what has happened in organization. I can't believe I messed those up. Like I checked it 3 times and I still got it wrong. That's terrible. It's what has happened in organization. This is the SI. SI is dealing with past facts. Like you are good at finding the current facts. You are not as good at organizing and sorting them. You're not horrible at it, like you would be down here, like me, but you're not the best at it. You prefer to conduct the experiment and let somebody else parse the data. You very much prefer to find the jobs than to complete the jobs. For the sacral, this is where your trickster energy lies. This is going to be future possibilities for the ISTP. You're going to have a hard time seeing the future possibilities, and when you do see them, you are picking the wrong one. Right? This goes back into your third eye with your NI. You are very defensive over picking the wrong future possibility. With your foresight is not quite lining up where you need to be. And for the sacral, that is going to be past feelings and morals. You're going to be very, you're going to get tripped up. It's going to be your own failing of your own feelings. Now, neither one of you are going to have very high feelings. You're not going to care too much about feelings. Now, you will get defensive over everyone's ethics, but you don't know at all really what your feelings are. And when you do, it's probably tripping you up. You're getting stuck on the wrong person. You're chasing a crush who will never notice you. You're doing things that make you feel bad because it fits in with the ethics of everyone else. And because it fits in with the ethics, you get defensive over it. And then finally, for the base, we got the ISTP is going to have their feelings. They don't feel like, they really seem to not feel at all. But in reality, what happens is that they get misunderstood up here, and it makes them feel really horrible, and they get stuck in the feeling really horrible. This is the outside of chemicals, depression, right? This is, I can't do anything right. This is, I feel bad because I keep getting tricked up over trying to choose the proper possibilities, or not organizing things correctly, or not fitting in with the rationale. All of these things are going to feed in to you feeling bad, and you are willing to squash that, but you're probably going to cope with that in a not correct manner. And for the alternate, that's going to be NE. That is, you're going to get very upset and get stuck in the future possibilities. So you're going to be the one that's constantly saying, well, I should have done this, I should have done this, I should have done this. Not because you're stuck in the SI and this happened to me, but you're going to be stuck in the, if I would have done this, this would have been different. And you are going to spend the whole rest of your life worried about that. You're going to be very much concerned for the entirety of the rest of your life about, man, if I would have made a different choice in 6th grade, then I would have graduated and been a doctor. And no, that's not really what was going to happen. But you feel that it was. Right here, your feelings are tripping you up about this future possibility. All right, so how do we go about integrating this thing? All right, FI, in order to integrate your FI, you're going to have to spend some time in your feelings. You're going to have to understand that it is okay to feel things. It is okay to be depressed, anxious. It is okay to worry about things and all of that, because there is a reason that you feel that. That is warning symbols. That is letting you know that you need to adjust your behaviors. That is literally what your feelings are for. If you're feeling sad, yes, you're missing someone, but there's also something that you're missing in your life that person fulfilled for you. But this is more concerned about your past mistakes and you feeling bad for your past mistakes and being stuck in feeling bad for your past mistakes. So you need to take the time to identify where you're feeling bad for your past mistakes and forgive yourself for that. Yes, you picked the wrong choice, right? And you got very defensive over picking the wrong choice, but you picked the wrong choice. And in order to understand that you picked the wrong choice, you need to get over how you feel about picking the wrong thing. So you need to spend time in it. You need to feel the things. If you're sad, you need to cry. If you're anxious, you need to
You need to work out why you're anxious, right? That is the cure to anxiety, is to understand where it's coming from and how you can move forward with it. There is always a plan that you can enact to get out of it. You're not going to be very good at writing a plan out, but do it anyway. Um, for the NE, in order to integrate that into your base, you're going to need to stop and understand where you're missing the possibilities. You need to, before you make decisions, understand that there are possibilities that you're not considering. Try to identify as many as possible. That is not good for you because you like to jump according to this. You like to jump into things. Like, you really like to explore and to find things. And so you see this possibility and you see this one and this one. And you're like, oh, it's that one. But you're missing this one and this one. And it's really this one. So take the time to consider that. Take the time to identify all of the possibilities that you possibly can. You can never plan for everything. But if you plan for most things, it relieves your anxiety. Then we're going to move up here into our trickster energy. In order to integrate the NE into your trickster energy, you're going to need to stop and figure out the wrong decisions that you're making and why they're wrong. This specifically is about why they're wrong, because you are looking at the possibility, but you're looking at the wrong side of the possibility, because every possibility has two possible outcomes, right? If I do this thing, it can lead to A or B. Okay. You're only seeing A when B is actually more likely. Now, that's because you're not considering B at all. You see the one possibility and the good possibility that could come out of that wrong choice, and you're assuming that that's what will happen, but it's probably not. So take the time to consider the possibilities and the ramifications from them. If you take the time to do that, then you will get kicked a whole lot less. Having NE this low means that you're really not seeing possibilities. Now, down here, you would get stuck in them. Right here, it's just going to get you. Like, it's just going to be the thing that really trips you up. And then for the alternate, that is going to be how I feel, right? You're going to get tripped up on your own feelings. And so what you need to do is stop and think about your feelings. Again, it is okay to feel things. It is okay to have all of these things. And then if you push them down, it will trip you up. Also, you need to understand why you're so much tribe right here that you are trying to fit in to this and this, how other people feel, that you are trying to be someone for them. That never works. You will never have a successful relationship where you are building your identity around another person. Your identity needs to be you. You need to love you. And in order for you to do that, you have to stop and consider it. You need to stop and think about your feelings and how you are setting them to the side for someone else. More than likely, someone who has no return of that for you. Understand that there is someone out there who will appreciate you for you, no matter how weird you are, no matter how out of the box you think. And if you're an ISTP, you tend to think a little bit differently than other people. This logic right here, it doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room in your ability to do things. Like, you see things very much black or white, yes or no. And that's the logic decision. Yes, no, yes, no. The solar plexus, this is where you're going to feel your nourishment. This is what's going to actually feed you in your purpose. And for the ISTP, and for the ISTP alternate, that is going to be, this is where I messed it up, but that's going to be what has happened. You are going to be very good at reporting the things that have happened. You're not necessarily going to be good at organizing them. And so you need to work on your organization skills. You need to work on making lists. You need to work on making plans and sticking to them, regardless of what, like, there always needs to be a little bit of flexibility in any plan that you enact, but you need to stick to them through the difficulties of the tribe pushback, because sometimes you are the one that needs to pull from the data what actually happened. You're not going to enjoy that until you learn to enjoy that, and then it will fulfill you. Like, the whole reason you are doing this, like the whole reason you have this SE right here, is so that you can find your SI right here. You are looking for the one data point in all of the data that you are doing that is going to make you feel logically consistent. And so take the time to organize, take the time to plan out. You're going to have a hard time also with like maintaining your area, right? The SI dominants tend to be more OCD type, right? They tend to more care about keep my space clean, keep me clean. SE can be like that because they like to give other people a good experience. But for you personally, instead of for other people, your space is probably going to be a little bit messy. Mine is a little bit messy, and I'm way down here on SI. My house for the rest of my family is fine, but my area is messy. You're going to be the same way. So work on your cleanliness. Work on picking up after yourself, doing your own laundry, fixing your own food, washing your own dishes. Make sure that you're doing your own chores, because if you're not doing them, then someone else is picking up your slack, and that's going to feed back into your external loop here. All right, the heart. This is what you really want to do now. Where the SI is really going to feed you, the heart is really going to fulfill you, and that is going to be what other people think, right? You are going to feel very good if you are being verified in your logic. So you're going to need the time to make sure that you are actually considering the thoughts of others. There can be more than one explanation for some things. Now, some things can only be explained one way, but some things can. There's some wiggle room in how it is done. It is not necessarily always black or white. I tend to see things in black and white. That it's either good or bad, or evil or whatever. But if you take the time to get the feedback from the tribe, it really will boost your logical consistency. Now, you are very good at logic. 90% of the time, you're getting your logic right. 90+% of the time, you're getting your logic right. But when you miss it big, and you miss it big because you haven't gotten any feedback on it. You're like, oh, nope, my thoughts are good enough. I'm going to give it to everybody. And so you're going to need to take the time to get the feedback from the crowd. You're going to need to go to your tribe, because that is who you're going to feel comfortable with, and then get feedback from them. But then you need to step outside of your tribe. You need to go to people that you do not agree with, somebody who holds a contrary opinion to what you do. And then you need to take their argument and strong man it and not straw man it. And that means to build it up, give it the best possible logical consistency that you can give it, and then argue it from their side. And if you can do that and they're still wrong, then you're logically consistent. So take the time to do that. You're going to have a tendency to skip that over, because you're going to think that everybody's with you, because you're just seeing all these new options. And so take the time to actually consider what other people are telling you. You're not going to be inclined to do that. You're really not. That's going to be very hard for you. But if you can do that, you will be fulfilled. Like, you will be the best in your group. You will be the best in your profession, whatever your chosen profession happens to be. Simply because you are taking in the feedback and using it for your divine. If you take the hard slot and you use it for your divine slot, you're going to excel in your job. The throat, this is where you're going to have miscommunication. This is where you are going to have a problem letting other people know what you feel or what you think, or you're going to have a hard time communicating this. For the ISTP, that is going to be ethics. You're going to have a hard time rationalizing other people's ethics, right? You're going to be trying to be logically consistent. And generally speaking, the tribe is not consistent. That's going to be hard for you. You're going to have to figure out why they hold their ethics. You should already know why you hold your morals. I don't think I said that, but FI Demon, you definitely need to figure out why you hold your morals. You need to know why you are making your choices. Knowing why makes a big difference. And so if you understand why the tribe holds the ethics that they do, then you can find the logical consistency in them. And then you can communicate where you see the wrong in that at. You're not going to be as defensive as it would be here in this third eye slide, but you're just really going to overlook the morals more than anything. Um, you're going to be very concerned about how this will make people feel in the future, but this is what the evidence says, right? For the NI, it's going to be the best possibility. You're going to have a hard time telling other people what they should do. You're going to have a hard time telling yourself what you should do. You're going to have a hard time narrowing down all of the possibilities that you don't really see into the best one. Those two feed together because you're not really seeing all of it. Then you're going to have a hard time picking the best one. You're going to go with the tribe's ethics for the most part, and you're going to get defensive over the tribe's ethics. You're going to be constantly looking for new things, so you're not really going to care about somebody picking the right thing. In order to integrate that, what you're going to need to do is to stop and look and consider, right? You need to make sure that you're doing the best option. You need to make sure that you're checking it back against your logic and make sure that that's right. But then you're going to need to check it back to your base and make sure that you are actually considering all of the options. The third I is your child slot. That is where you're going to get very defensive over things. So for the ISTP, that is going to be the best possibility. You're going to get very defensive over what is the best choice. And what you think is the best choice is what everyone should think is the best choice. And if they don't, then they're just dumb. And that is where you're very much going to live. So in order to get past that, you're going to have to understand that sometimes other people pick the right choice too, even if they have the wrong information in your eyes. You think they have the wrong information because you're not sorting it. You're letting somebody else do that on the SI. So you are going to need to actually take the time to consider that somebody else might be right every once in a while. Now, you need to do that for every choice because you're going to get, especially if you get defensive. Like the pushback is you might think that you're wrong, but it's logically consistent, so you're going to stick with it according to the information that you have gathered. And so what you need to do is to stop and consider other possibilities. You need to stop and consider that somebody else may have the correct possibility. And then for the FE, that is going to be, or for the third eye on the alternate, that's going to be FE. So you're going to get very defensive over the tribe's ethics. Whether or not it's the best possibility, and whether or not it's logically consistent, you're still going to get defensive over what the tribe thinks because you're going to feel that maybe I'm not being as logically consistent as I want to be because the divine, the problem with the divine is the same with the base. It can overwhelm you. And so you're going to think that your logic is pulling you down sometimes. You're going to think that you're not making the right choices. And you're going to check that back against the FE because your third eye is the FE. You're going to feel that the tribe is judging you and that your logic is wrong. Probably not. They're probably not judging you. You're probably just too defensive over it. So what you need to do is check back with the tribe. You need to say, hey, does this make you feel a certain way? Because I really don't understand that. And if you say that, especially to an FE user, right, to somebody who's got it up here, they're gonna take you and be like, yes, let me help you. And but getting that feedback from the tribe will help you to balance out. You're gonna be very defensive over their ethics, but you could be getting defensive over the wrong ethics. You need to check back with the tribe, and then you need to expand that past your tribe. You need to check back with everyone, even people you disagree with. Strong man, there are arguments. Like other people can be right. And then we get into the divine and the crown. This is where it gets easy, right? You've already balanced all the rest of the stack. You've taken the time to consider the FI and the NE, the TI, or the TE and the SI. And so you understand when you go into your SE that you are looking for all the best options, right? You are looking for all the new shiny things. And you're good at it. You are. That is how you interpret your logic. You're like, okay, logically, we need this thing, this thing, this thing, and this thing. And then somebody else can decide what to do with them. Well, you need to take the time to decide what needs to be done with them too. You need to start trying to figure out, is this the best thing? Can I logically place this as the best thing? And then maybe you don't have to get the newest computer or the newest phone or the best hardware for whatever, the best clothes for whatever. What you'll do then is just expand. Like the SE is all about the expansion and trying new things and finding new things and exploring new things and all of the things that happen right now. And so experience. Go out and experience things outside of your comfort zone, because you have a tendency to stay in your little logical comfort zone, in your little logical tribe, that you don't really care about what's going on outside of that. Get out and see. Go experience things outside of your area of expertise. And by doing so, you will increase the base by which you can gather things, and you will see more possibilities, and you will be able to sort better possibilities, right? And then the divine. This is what you do without even thinking about it. This is TI. This is where you get your divine inspiration from. Your logic is right almost all of the time. But when it is wrong, it is very, 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 very wrong. And it can have very big ramifications depending on what you do. Now, what you want to do is to take the time to make sure that your logic is working off of the rationale of the tribe, right? Just because you think it's the best idea ever doesn't mean that it necessarily is. Somebody once thought that electing Hitler to be chancellor of Austria was a great idea, but it really wasn't. And so you need to take the time to make sure that what your thoughts are actually logically consistent with actual matters that actually matter. And if you do that, if you take that time, then that's like a superpower, right? You are picking the right thought all the time. You can be logically consistent in your research. You can be logically consistent in your management of the businesses or whatever you're doing. All of these require taking the time to explore them, to balance out where you're imbalanced. And you tend to be a little bit more balanced in the throat and the heart, simply because you're not receiving large fluctuations right there. But you get a lot of information in your divine and in your base. That's where you're picking up most of your information. And it's how you're relaying things. So you need to spend the time to get those right. As far as careers, like, you're going to want to do something where you're performing actual experiments. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean academia, but you will, for the largest part, like, you will find more ISTPs in academia than anywhere. They are involved in the actual research. They are involved in not necessarily organizing the research, but doing the actual research. And somebody that's an SI user or an NI user says, hey, I think that this is possible. Well, you as a TISE are like, okay, well, if this is possible, is true, then this experiment should prove that. Here's how that works. Like the physical working of it, the actually making of it happen. Now, you're good engineers for the same reason. You're able to say, okay, we need to run water from this location to this location past this electrical box without touching it. Here's how the piping should run. You're good draftsmen for the same reason. Anything that needs to be technically precise and logically consistent, you're going to fit in well with. You will have a tendency to want to bring in more things that are actually necessary sometimes. That is the SE acting up. But if you can stay on task and on track with it and actually finish it, you produce the best work in those areas. And so look for something like that. If you're an ISTP, you're going to be happiest in the places where you are using your logic. That doesn't have to be the places that I named, but if you're in a position that uses your logic and you're seeing new things and you're doing new things, like the new things is a big thing for you too. That's why the research is so big for you, is because you really like finding the new possibilities. And because you are out there finding all of these things, you're feeling happy about it. Especially like if it's logically consistent and your TE is working and the others, like the tribe is agreeing that your choice on logic is best, you are going to be golden. Like, you're going to have the best life ever. And so find something that you can do that works with that. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this one on up. I hope I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion to a very complicated topic. If you have questions, leave them for me down below. If you like what I'm doing, give me a share, like sharing this up. Feed the algorithm for me. I need to know what you need to know. I hope I'm hitting this in a way that is digestible. So if I'm not, let me know. If my logic's not correct, let me know. I'm a TI child, so I tend to get pushy over my logic, but I promise I will listen to you. I work it on my stack. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Till next time, this has been Pitt. Peace.